Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm here with Rodrigo, and this guy definitely knows his shit. And what I want to talk about today is I kind of want to talk about how you guys know my mission has been, to just get rid of protein powders, weight gainers, and I've always wanted to try to find a true, real food protein product. And, obviously I managed to do that with carbs, with the real food. Sweet potatoes, yams, oats, blueberries, and, selling a true product that is actually good for you and doesn't have any garbage in it. Maltodextrin, dextrose, sugar, bullshit, because, all the carb products always have a bunch of bullshit carbs that aren't real carbs. It's not real food. It's shit. It's just a way to fucking make money, to put a bunch of garbage in that costs dollars, and turn around and sell it for 20 times the amount you paid for it. So, the sweet potato product is very expensive, and there's very little margin made in that product, and that's why other companies are not making this product, because there's not much money to be made. Making very little profit, but it's a good fucking product, and that's all that matters to me. So I've been searching for the last 2 years trying to come up with the same version as a protein. Major problems. There's no such thing, basically, is what I found. I looked into cricket protein powder, which basically was crickets, ground up. So it is a food, it is coming from, a live creature. It is a food. It's not a processed bullshit. It just, was kind of weird. People were kind of, like, I don't know about that. And drinking it, you see little things floating around, and, it was just kind of like, I don't know about this. And I stumbled across Rodrigo's stuff on the internet, and this guy's a fucking genius, and he actually came out with a product that is real fucking egg whites. It's real egg whites put into a crystallized form, put into a container just like protein powder, but it's 100% egg whites. There's nothing else in there. And I want to go ahead and let him kind of explain. It took him, what, you've been working on this for 10 years?
Yeah, we started 15 years ago, really. And our company started with the military. We were looking for a way to dehydrate an egg.
You were in the whey protein business before.
Yeah.
So you've been through the whole protein business, been there, done that, and you wanted to come out with a better, superior product.
Yeah, our family has a business. We actually started as a cheese company, and whey is a byproduct of making cheese. That's how we got into the whey business.
Right.
Because we had all this whey, and we used to just spray it in the back fields, and after a while, then you couldn't do that anymore. And then we realized, well, there's a lot of protein in whey, so we started making whey powders. This is probably like late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
I was pretty young. That was.
It was kind of a mistake that whey protein even came about.
Yeah, part of it was just, cheese companies had whey that they had to dispose of, and they didn't know what to do with it. And for a while, you could just dump it, and after a while, you couldn't do it because of regulations, basically. At the same time, they discovered there's protein in it, so why don't we, make it into a powder and sell it?
Right.
And that's basically how whey protein started.
Right, perfect scenario.
Yeah, yeah. So it took something that was a waste, and now they're making money off it.
Right.
That's fine. So when we started our company, we were looking for a way to dehydrate egg so that it retains all the functionality and the flavor of a fresh egg. So we started with the military making whole egg. So it's got all the yolk, all the egg white, and that's what we started doing about 15 years ago. We call it crystallization because it's a totally different process from the way that other protein powders are dried. And the secret is it's low temperature.
Right.
That's really the key. Everything has to be low temperature.
Otherwise, it denatures the protein and brings the value down, and it basically becomes almost pointless.
That's right. So if you take like a regular protein powder, you make a shake with it, you mix it up, and then you just let it sit, you'll see all the sediment start to form at the bottom. So that's the insoluble protein. That's basically the denatured protein.
Right.
And that comes from drying it at too high temperature.
Well, it seems like when I would make a protein shake and let it sit, it seems like everything would go to the bottom.
Yeah, that's the problem. It's all insoluble. So it's like putting sand in water. And you stir it up, and it goes into suspension for a little while, but it doesn't actually bind with the water. You don't get a liquid protein again. And that's just the protein itself has been denatured.
So that's a sign that it's denatured. The quality's gone down. The protein value's gone down.
That's right.
And that's from just overheat.
Yep, it's heat abuse. So we developed a way of drying things at low temperature so that we don't get above the temperature at which protein denatures. So with our egg whites, we actually dry it at a little bit lower temperature than the pasteurization temperature. So we actually don't do any more damage to it than pasteurizing it. So everything is below 140 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
And when you do that, you don't denature the protein, you don't ruin the protein, so the protein retains its original structure. When you put it back into water, you get a liquid protein again. There's nothing settles out.
Right.
So it actually binds with the water again.
Me scrolling on the internet, and I came across your video, and I saw you take scoops of this product, add water, put in the microwave, and boom, it turns into eggs. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, a lot of people don't
That
believe
just
us.
blew me away. I was like, this is crazy, you know, and started looking into it, investigating it. You know, we got a hold of you and started talking to you, and it's mind-boggling, but you've spent so long developing this product, and you're a food company, so you're not going under the FDA. I mean, you're going under the...
We're USDA.
USDA, which is a million times stricter and harder as far as your warehouse and where you make the product and how hard they are, and everything has to be, you know, exactly like a pharmaceutical company almost.
Yeah, I mean, we have full-time inspectors, government inspectors in our building. All the
They're 24/7. Yeah, see, it's a whole different fucking entity, because it's actually, this is a food business, not a supplement business. So I have to say that stumbling across this product was unbelievable. Anyone that would ever try to mimic this product, which will happen, is going to take years and years. It really isn't going to be done.
Yeah,
and I have seen the factory, and I've seen how you do things, and it's not going to be done.
Yeah, I mean, the concept is
This
simple.
is going to be the only fucking egg white crystal, real fucking food, egg white protein in a fucking container for a long time.
It's tough to do. I mean,
Right.
conceptually, it's really simple. Just dry at low temperatures, but to actually do it, and do it on an industrial scale, and do it so that the product turns out and is a good product, it's really tough to do.
Right.
So we've been working on the whole egg for a long time. And the egg white's brand new, so that's why you guys are going to be the first and the only guys that have our egg white. It took us a while to figure out how to do it without the yolk. That's the only thing we do is we pull out all the yolk of the eggs. We're just drying egg white, and it processes a little bit differently. So it took us a while to figure that out and change our process to be able to handle egg white. But now we've got it, and it works the same. You mix with water, cook it up. You've got just egg white. That's it.
Right. You can go to the grocery store and buy egg whites and cook them, and I urge you to do that. I mean, this product does not replace egg whites in a grocery store. It does not. But it's the convenience factor of getting real food, real egg whites in a container that you can carry with you to the gym, you can make a shake with. You can't make a shake with raw egg whites. Yeah, liquid egg whites that have been pasteurized, you can, but you don't have the convenience factor of being able to take it with you and, take it to work, and it's got to be refrigerated and, so on and so forth. Nevertheless, those are still great products. Liquid egg whites are still a great fucking product. And egg whites in the grocery store is a fucking great thing, and I urge you, definitely, if you prefer to buy egg whites at the grocery store, that's the way to go. You like liquid egg whites, that's your preference, that's the way to go. But this is just as good, possibly better, and the reason being is the heat factor of the product not being denaturized by the heat. You run about 130 degrees.
Yeah, 130 to 140 is what we dry at. So when you cook something, you're probably about 200 degrees Fahrenheit when you're cooking like in a pan or hotter, 250.
And pasteurizing is higher.
Yeah,
it's more heat.
Yeah,
so
usually it's like 140 to pasteurize.
it's going to cause more denature in the product, and that brings the value down. And the funny thing is, I mentioned before, is that when I cook my egg whites, what I do is I turn the heat all the way up, and I start cracking the egg whites real quick, and then I mix it up, and I'm probably done in less than a minute. I have my egg whites cooked ready. I'm eating. I'm out the door because I'm busy. I'm in a hurry. I never even thought about cooking at such a high heat can actually devalue the egg whites, denature, and bring the protein value down.
Yeah, and the big difference is with other powders. So most powders, they're dried at, think like 390 degrees Fahrenheit is a typical, temperature to dry powder at.
Right.
Whether it's an egg powder or a whey protein powder. And that's about double the heat at which you probably cook at.
Right.
So that's where you really get into those extreme heats. That's where you're really basically cooking the powder as it's drying.
Yeah.
And then you go and you take and you have like a way overcooked basically burnt powder.
Yeah, that's
what gets
denatured,
insoluble.
devalued, and it's not what it says it is. Yeah. And that's if everything's on an up and up. We're not talking about spiking or adding other ingredients to the protein powder to cause the nitrogen value to go up, which is going to show the protein value being higher when really the protein value isn't higher. That's what people do not understand. What the fuck is going on here? When you read the label and it says 24 grams of protein, that number is determined by the nitrogen balance in the product. And there's other things you can add to the product to bring up the nitrogen balance, which is going to show that protein number being higher when it's really not. It's really not more protein. It's simple things like this that people just they're not educated, they don't understand. No one puts this out there because it's a fucking multi-billion-dollar business. You have explained to me, and I've seen a lot of other supplement companies, when they make the protein powder, as it drops, it it has to cook at such a high heat because it has to be dried before it hits the ground.
It's going to drop in a few seconds, so you got to dry it by the time it hits the bottom.
So it has to be a certain degree.
Yeah.
It has to. There's no way to change that.
Yeah, and so that's why they have to dry at such high temperatures unless you make a really big tower. And there's one company that's done that, but it's really, really expensive.
Right. You said it's like excess of $100 million they
that's
paid.
what I heard. Yeah.
Right,
Just to
and
build
it's like 200 feet high.
Yeah, something like
and so it is possible to have a machine that can, at a lower heat, but it's not happening.
No.
Because the machine costs over $100 million.
Yeah, and we have a totally different.
And there's only one machine out there in.
We've got a totally different method. We do at low temperature, but we have our own technique that we developed.
Right.
And it works. I mean, just
And it
try
makes
out,
total sense when you see how you do it. It makes total sense. We're not going to go into that because that's the secret of how you can, do it at such a low temperature. What this guy has created is in my opinion, unfucking believable. And, I'm so lucky to have been able to connect with him and, go in together and get this product out there. Protein powder is a complete waste of fucking money, and once people investigate and look into shit, they will realize that. But who is going to do that? Nobody. A company being on the up and up and doing everything 100% and being 100% honest and doing everything right, it's still not a good product.
Yeah, I mean, we keep it simple. It's just egg white, pure egg white, dry at low temperature. That's it. There's nothing else you got to do.
Right. And crazy mixing that up, cooking it on the stove and having fucking egg whites from a fucking container is unbelievable. Crazy.
No one believes us, but one thing we always like to tell people is just cook it up for someone. Don't tell them how you made it. Just make them scrambled eggs. That's
right.
what they say.
Yeah.
Everyone will just sit down, eat it up, and just
never know the difference because it's 100% eggs. And I urge everyone out there to put it to the test. Put it in a bowl, add some water, add the correct amount of water, put it in the microwave, and boom, watch the eggs. Eggs cook right in front of your eyes. It's amazing. We designed it to where every scoop is one egg white, so it's very simple. 1 egg white, 2 egg whites, 3 egg whites. And in the previous video, we cooked the product next to regular egg whites from the grocery store, and boom, came out identical, tasted identical, looked identical. It's unbelievable.
It's just egg white. That's it. It's simple.
So we have revolutionized the fucking market as far as protein in a fucking can. Real fucking egg whites. No bullshit. No bullshit added to the product. There's nothing else in there. It's 100% fucking egg whites. But it's in a convenient container that you can take with you, bring with you wherever you go, to work, to whatever. And the price, which is unbelievable, is comparable to protein powders. Jesus Christ, what more do you want?